So you take that record only and you can write ಅಂತಾನೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀವಲ್ವಾ?
ಯಾ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಹ್ಮ್.
ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಪಕ್ಕ.
ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀಯಾ?
ಹಾ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಸರಿಯಪ್ಪ.
ಓಕೆ.
Good afternoon, students. Why only 6 students are there? What about the remaining students? Tell them to join quickly, no? Yes, students, had your lunch, all of you? Lunch ಆಯ್ತಾ ನಿಮ್ದೆಲ್ಲ?
No, ma'am.
Who is that? ಯಾರದು?
Gaurish, ma'am.
ಯಾಕೆ ಊಟ ಮಾಡ್ದೇನೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀಯಾ ಗೌರೀಶ್?
ಹಾ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಅಪ್ಪ ಗುಡ್. ಯಾಕೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಇತ್ತಲ್ವಾ ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು?
ಹಾ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬೇರೆ ಕೆಲಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಸಿ ಇದ್ದೆ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಬೇರೆ ಕೆಲಸ, ಓಕೆ. ಬೇಗ ಬೇಗ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ. Yes, students, why there is so less strength? Why only 14 students are there? What about the remaining students? No need to message your attendance in the chat box, students. When I take attendance, that time you respond. Yes, students, you want me to do revision or you want me to continue the syllabus? Because from Thursday you have internal students. You want me to do revision or shall I continue the syllabus? Respond. Somebody respond. You want any revision class or shall I continue the syllabus?
Ma'am, continue with the syllabus, ma'am.
You don't want any revision.
Amen.
Okay. Okay. Fine, students. Hmm. Yes, in the last class, I was not. Yes, students, is my screen is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So in the last class, I was explaining about the designing of a form and the events. What here, student? What event I am doing? What action I am doing here? What action I am doing here, students? Here I am doing registration. Registration of a students. This is a form. This form I have created to register. This form I have created for the registration of some event. Registration of an event. I am doing registration in this form. For that, I have taken some labels and the text boxes. Here, why I have taken label and text box? In this text, in this text box, what information I have to add? See, students, if I simply go on inserting a text box without label, will it understand to any end user or any other user other than the developer? I have developed this application. I have developed this window application, so I know that for first text box what information I have to enter, for second box text box what I have to enter, third, fourth, and so on. I have created this and I know what information I have to include. But if I give any other user who has not developed this application, or if I give it to my customer or to the end user this application, then they'll be in a confusion. To provide a proper information, for first text box, what information I have to include, for second text box, what information I have to give, for third, fourth, so on. So along with this text box, I have to take a label. So this label is used to label this particular text box. The first text box is labeled as USN using a label. Yes, is it right, students? Yes, following. So first text box is for USN, second is for name, and third is for semester, and fourth is for event. So some event I am doing. So once I click on register button, so this is a button, this is a submit button, this is a submit button. Once I click on this submit, when I run this form, when I click on this submit button, what happens? Whatever the data I have inserted, whatever the data I have given here, that will be stored in the database. that will be stored in the database. Yes, students, here in this form, I have included, or I have in this form I have included the image. See here, image. In the morning class, I told you how to include the image. Image, where it is. Form 1 property, image, background, yes, students, I have included the image. Yes, one more option we have. One more option we have. That is, yes, students, if you observe this form, is there any border for this form? Is there any border for this form? No, I don't have any border for this form. So go to properties. Go to properties. Select form border style. Initially it is none. Why it is none? Why it is none, students? Because I have not given any border to my form, so it is none. So now what I did, fixed 3D, fixed single D. Yes, how I am changing. So with respect to that, with respect to that, the form design is changing. Yes, students, none. See, this is none. When I select none, you cannot find any. You see here. Observe the difference, students. I have come to the initial stage. I have not done any, I have not inserted any border style to my form. Now what I do, I'll change the border style as fixed single. So previous, this close, maximum, minimize options were not there. These options were not there. So now you can see these options. Again, I'll go back to the initial stage or the initial condition only. That is none. See, when it is none, how the form will visible. When I change it to fixed single, then how the form will be visible. Yes, students, you are able to observe the difference. So this is how we design the form. This is how we design the form. And in window form application, or in window form, till now we have seen label, text box, button, insertion of image, and you can also include radio button. Where is radio button? You can also include radio button. When we use radio button, students, when we use radio button, suppose we have more than one options. In case of this event only, yes, students, screen is clear, no? Screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. For this radio button, see, I have inserted a radio button. I'll take an example of this event only. In the event, I have more than one event. Coding and debugging one event. Technical treasure hunt is another event. Technical meme is another event. So 3 events I have. So out of these 3 events, I want to select one event. So in that case, I can use this radio button. Yes, is it right, students? So I have 3 events. So out of those 3 events, I want to select only a single event. I want to select a single event. So what I do here, we can use radio button. We can use radio button. So whichever the event you want to participate, to that event we are going to register. The events are technical treasure hunt, technical memes, and one more event. Which event I told? Coding and debugging. Yes, students, please respond. Coding and debugging, technical treasure hunt, and technical meme. So out of these three events, I want to select only a single event. So there we can use a radio button. Yes, do we use radio button now? Yes, any other options? List box. When we use a list box, when we use list box, students, see the same event, whatever the event I told, technical meme, technical treasure hunt, and coding and debugging. Instead of showing in the radio button, I can use a list box. I can use list box. In the list box, I can show the events. I can show the list of events which I am going to include in my application or in my registration form. And checkbox, checkbox. See, for the same example, I'll use this checkbox. Assume that for three events, I want to select only a single event. So what I do, I click on I select in the checkbox. I select a treasure hunt, technical treasure hunt event. So this checkbox will be clicked. So the checkbox will be clicked. So for this scenario of situations, we use this checkbox button. Combo box, combo box. When we have a list of options, when we have a list of options, so in the list of option, we want to select a single option. Then we use a combo box. Data grid view. What is the use of data grid view, students? What is the use of data grid view? What is the use of data grid view? I already explained this in Visual Studio. If you want to display some information, what we do is we use data grid view. See here, I'll take this example only. I have taken USN, name, semester, and event. Once I enter all the information and I click on register button. When I click on the register button, then this register button is nothing but a submit button. When I click on the submit button, the data will be inserted to the database, and I'll go back to the database and I'll check whether the whatever the data I have inserted, whether it has inserted or not. If it is one or two records, then if, one or two times I can go back to the database and I can check whether the information is stored in the database or not. If I have more than 100 records, then 100 times I cannot go to the database. So what I do, I want to display the information in my form only. So how? Using this data grid view, data grid view, whatever the here, if I take one more button, I label this button as display button. I'll label this button as display button. Display button. When you click on the display button, whatever the information we have inserted to the database, all that information should be displayed on the database. Yes, lab program, first lab program I shown you, no? In the last class, in the last lab, when I click on the display button, whatever the information I have inserted through this registration button, all the information will be displayed in the grid view. This grid view is used to display the database. In the database, whatever the value I have inserted, I want to display that on the form. So to display that information on the form, we use data grid view. Yes, understood, students? Label, list box, list view, menu strip. Text box, radio button. So all this we are going to include, we are going to use in a program. Yes, students, any doubt here? Any doubt? Yes, once again I'm asking, any doubt how to create database, how to get a connection string? Yes? Any doubt in the designing part? Okay. So this, my form is ready now, students. My form is ready and the registration button is also ready and the display button is also ready. In the display button, whatever the information I am inserting here, that will be displayed on the database. So now what I do, I'll go to the coding part. So first what I have to do is I have to include using system dot data.sql client and using system dot threading dot task. So these two namespaces we have to include in the program. Once I include these namespaces, yes students, I am repeating this, listen carefully. For next we need to include a connection string in the program. Yes students, if I am fast, you please stop me if I am fast. Just to execute any commands, in Visual Studio, we have to create an object. We have to create an object of that is, you can, that object we say as a command object. Command object is used to run the queries, or command object is used to execute the queries. Here students, I am creating a connection string, that is SQL connection. SQL connection. The con is a connection object. Is equal to new SQL connection, and within this within this double quotes and bracket, we write a connection string. Where we'll get a connection string? Go to .mdf file, right click on the .mdf file, go to properties, and here you will get a connection string. Students. So copy and paste the connection string. Now the connection has established. Now next what we have to do, students? Tell me. Next what we have to do? Fast. If you followed yesterday's lab, then you'll be able to answer whatever the question I am asking.
Write query to register button.
Write query to
Register button.
yes. We have to write a query to register button. What query I have to write? Students? I have to write a insert query. So before I write any query, first I need to open the connection. Con dot open. I have to open the connection. What is con? Con is a connection object. So here I'm using SQL data adapter to run or to execute a queries. So I create here SQL data adapter object, that is SDA. SDA is a What is SDA? SQL data adapter is equal to new SQL data adapter. Yes, students, within this double quotes and bracket, we will write a query. What query I write? Insert insert into insert into table. What table name? What is my table name? What is my table name? First,
Student details.
still I have not created any table for this form. Did I create any table? No, I have not created any table. Yes, students, this is a first program. This is our lab program, first program, part B, first program, MDF files. Here, as for this to execute this program, only for the time being, I'll create a table. Later, I will delete this. So add new table. Add new table. So in fields entry ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. First USN data type nchar. It is don't allow any null value. Name ಇದೆಯಾ? Check, go to the form and you can check. Yes, name is there. Name nchar. Next ಏನಿದೆ? Semester ಇದೆ, event ಇದೆ. Okay, semester integer, because semester is an integer value 1 2 3 4, and matteniದೆ semester event name. So event name is a character, so I take nchar and say I'll save the file, that is event. The file name, yes students, don't forget the table name I'm giving event. The table name I'm giving event. Now coming to the coding part, coming to the .cs file, insert into event is a table name, values text box 1 dot text box 1 dot text, close the plus symbol, close the double quote, close single quote. It is string value, that's why I am closing here single quote. Next ಏನಿದೆ? USN ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ what is next after USN? Respond.
Xbox 2.
Text box 2 I know. What is the text box 2 value? Name, no? Name. Next, semester. Text box 3 dot text. Next ಏನಿದೆ? What is next students?
Event.
USN ಆಯ್ತು, ನೇಮ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಸೆಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಯ್ತು. What is last? Event ಅಲ್ವಾ? Text box 4 dot text. Like this, you are experimenting for one. Once it is over, again, I will be doing one. So, second one is going over. Not equal to minus not Comma, con. Con is a connection object. See, this red line indicates some error is there.
Con
Red line indicates error in the program. So many errors are there. Okay, we'll debug. Adaita, align aita, align. After that line, the next is after that line SDA. What is SDA? SDA is a what is SDA? Yes, tell me what is SDA. SDA is ಹೇಳಿ ಬೇಗ. It's a connection object, no SQL data adapter. You people are not listening or not understanding. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಅಥವಾ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ? Which is true? You're not following or you're not you're not listening or not understanding? I'll build whatever the error I have. It will display. Is students inform 1 in line number 31. I have errors. So what is the error? We'll try to debug. Yes, I'll increase the. You have to tell me what errors I have done, what mistakes I have done, what error it is showing. Hedi bega.
Xbox 2 ಗೆ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಕೊಡಿ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
Plus ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ. Good. Plus is missing. Correct. So plus is missing here. Next. Next, it is not showing any error. Students, I'll save and again I'll debug. Again, I'll debug. So this 32 errors. This is this warning I am getting. So no need to worry. Enter the USN 1BY 18 MCA 01, name Anil, semester 3, event quiz. Data details were added to the database. Okay. Yes, students. Now what I do, I'll go to the database. I'll check whether the data is inserted or not. Yes, the data is inserted successfully. Insert agidya data. Agidya students?
Yes,
Maybe.
ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Coming to the design, I have one more button, that is display button. In the display button, what I do? Yesterday I explained this code. What is DT? what is fill, what is data grid view. Again, I am not going to repeat this. So here I have taken one more button. This button I am using to display the data. This button I am using to display the data. So this button is display button. This is a object. SDA is a SQL data adapter object. Here through this command object, I am running a query. What query I am running? I am running select query. Select star from employee details. If I execute this, definitely I'll get a error. If I don't get error also, I'll not get a desired output. Why? Because the table name is not matching. My table name is events, comma connection. Why it is not displaying the output? Hmm?
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್
ಯಾವ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಪ್ಪ?
ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಡಾಟ್ ಪಿ ಎಚ್
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟೇ ಇದೆ. ಇದೇ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಒನ್ನಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಎಲ್ಲ. ಓನ್ಲಿ ದ ಡೇಟಾಬೇಸ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಶೇರಿಂಗ್. ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ನ್ಯೂ ಓನ್ಲಿ.
Madam, table name event.
ಈವೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಓಕೆ. It is not displaying. Actually, it should display.
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಅದು ಡಾಟಾ ಗ್ರಿಡ್ ವ್ಯೂ 1 2 ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್. ಅದು
ಎಲ್ಲಿಯಪ್ಪ?
ಇದು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡಾಟಾ ಗ್ರಿಡ್ ವ್ಯೂ 1 ಡಾಟಾ ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು dt ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಲ್ಲ,
ಎಲ್ಲಿ?
ಕೋಡಲ್ಲಿ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್. ಇದರ
ಇದಾ?
ಡಾಟಾ ಗ್ರಿಡ್. ಹಾ
ಅದೇ.
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಎಸ್ ಡಿ ಎ ಡಾಟ್ ಫಿಲ್ ಡಿ ಟಿ ಅದು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬರಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್. ಡೇಟಾ ಗ್ರಿಡ್ ವ್ಯೂ 1 ಡಾಟ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅಲೈನ್.
ಇದಾ?
ಹಾಂ
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಫಿಲ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಆಮೇಲೆ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಅಸೈನಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ಡೇಟಾ ಗ್ರಿಡ್ ವ್ಯೂ. ದೆನ್ ಎಸ್ಟರ್ಡೇ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡನ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಇಲ್ಲ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಈವೆಂಟ್. ಡೇಟಾ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
ಎಸ್ ಡಿ ಎ ನೀವು ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಸಲ್ ಕೊಟ್ರಿ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್.
ಓಕೆ, ನೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಕನೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಸಲ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಹಿಯರ್ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟೆಡ್. ಹಿಯರ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟೆಡ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ನೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್, ನೋ ಇಶ್ಯೂಸ್. Now it is displaying. ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಸರ್? ಯಾವುದು? Yes, students, we got the output. But the output, is it showing? Is it displaying? Yes, two records I have included. Yes, Banta. Yes, students. Any doubt here? Any doubt here? Any doubt in the code? Code ಏನಾದರೂ doubt ಇದೆಯಾ? See, this is a simple program, simple event handling program or simple form designing I have explained. This is not your lab program. Yes. How to design, how to take label, how to take text box, how to display the data, how to take button, why to take button, what is the use of taking button. Yes? Understood? Respond.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, students, I'm deleting this event file, event table. Why I'm deleting? Because this database is our part B lab program database. I'm sharing this database. If I keep also, nothing will happen. Okay, I'll not delete again. You'll be in confusion. Yes, you understood now? The creation of table, connection string. Here doubt idea. Heli bega. If you don't have any doubt, then I'll stop here, students, and I'll continue my lab program. Shall I continue with the lab? Students, shall I continue the lab?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, one by one, you have to show your records. Share your screen or open your camera and you can show the record. Record ಏನೇನು ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೀರಾ ತೋರಿಸಿ. ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ತೋರಿಸಿ ಬೇಗ ಬೇಗ. Answer attendance. Aditya. Aditya. Ajay. Ajay was there? No, I saw him. Amit. Amit is there, I think. Amit? No, Amit is not there. Antima?
Present, ma'am.
Okay. Apurva?
Present,
Ashwini? Ashwini? Bindu?
Yes, ma'am.
Divyesh? Gaurish?
Yes, ma'am.
Gautami? Gunashekar?
Present, ma'am.
Harini? Harini, morning she was there, I know she's not there. Surya?
Present, ma'am.
Nayana?
Present, ma'am.
Nazma?
Present, ma'am.
Nidhi? Pradeep? Pradeep? Absent, Pradeep? Preeti,
Present, ma'am.
Rajesh, Sahadev,
Present, ma'am.
Saket, Santosh. Yes, students, don't bunk the classes. This first program, I'm taking so much time to explain this first program. From second program onwards, I'll just give the query. You have to execute by yourself. And even the queries are also not tough. You have to execute by yourself. Only the fourth program I'll explain because fourth program is ASP.NET program. Second and third program you have to do. Saket, Santosh, Seema,
Yes, ma'am.
Sinchana,
Present, ma'am.
Spurti, Shashank,
Present, ma'am.
Spurti absent, Varsha, Yashashwini,
Present,
Varsha
ma'am.
absent. Amruta,
Present, ma'am.
Anusha, Apurva,
Present, ma'am.
Sai Siddharth, Chetana, Kavya,
Present, ma'am. Present,
Madhush, huh?
Chetan, ma'am.
What Nayana and Surya Prakash, what you're doing? Huh? This is class. What you people are thinking? Nayana? ಏನು ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ನೀವು ಇದು ಕ್ಲಾಸಾ ಅಥವಾ ಏನು ಏನು ಜೋಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಯು ನೋ ಮಧುಶ್ರೀ
Present, ma'am.
ಮನೀಶ್
Present, ma'am.
ಸರ್ಫರಾಜ್
Present, ma'am.
ಮುರುಗೇಶ್
Present, ma'am.
ಮುತ್ತುಮಣಿ
Present, ma'am.
ಪರೇಶ್
Present, ma'am.
ಪೂಜಾ
Ma'am,
Present, ma'am.
ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ
Pooja, present, ma'am.
ಪ್ರಶಾಂತ್
Present, ma'am.
ಪ್ರತಿಭಾ
Present, ma'am.
ಪ್ರತೀಕ್ ಪ್ರತೀಕ್ ಸಾಧನಾ
Present, ma'am.
ಶಶಾಂಕ್
Present, ma'am.
ಶ್ರದ್ಧಾ
Present, ma'am.
ಶ್ರೀಧರ್
Present, ma'am.
ತನುಜ್ ತನುಜ್ ಉಮ್ಮೆಹನಿ
Present, ma'am.
Ashish?
Tejaswini, present, ma'am.
ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ ತೇಜಸ್ವಿನಿ
Present, ma'am.
ಆಶೀಶ್
Present, ma'am.
ವಿದ್ಯಾ
Present, ma'am.
ವಿಶಾಲ್
Present, ma'am.